How's it going, everyone? It's me, Vivi, and welcome back to another Sly Cooper discussion video. So recently these days, I've been thinking of Ratchet Clank: A Crack in Time a lot. How it brought the series what it was missing, to actually delve into our main characters. It brought this new piece, this larger aspect, to the story. It just proved that Ratchet & Clank is not always about two heroes trying to save the galaxy. Now of course, that's the main idea of the series, but the future Saga proved that our main characters can have their own serious moments. There's just so much more that was brought to this series by Mr. Fixman himself, TJ Fixman. He successfully did so. Success is quite a big word. This is coming from a guy who considers A Crack in Time the strongest game, story-wise and gameplay-wise. Now the majority of the time what I hear is either A Crack in Time is one's favorite or their second favorite. So, to me, it seems like A Crack in Time is a solid Ratchet & Clank game. A great example of what can be done with the story of such a series. Sure, the jokes aren't necessarily the same, but there were some jokes in the future Saga. A Crack in Time, I'd say, did have this pretty deep, dark moment between Alistair and Ratchet. Now dude, why are you talking about Ratchet & Clank? This is a Sly Cooper video. Well, I just wanted to get this out of the way. To use Ratchet & Clank: A Crack in Time as an example of what can be done with the Sly Cooper series. So what I'm thinking is, Sly Cooper needs to head in a new direction. Bring that story element it needs. There's nothing wrong with the PS2 games. They just can dig a lot deeper and prove to gamers that Sly Cooper does have the potential to attract people to its wonderful story. And I'm not kidding. Sly Cooper is all about detective color noir. There's so much they can do with it. Sly Cooper PS2 feels like Ratchet & Clank PS2. What? What are you saying, man? I'm talking about the formula, where these types of games have one thing in common. Be the hero, go from this place to this other place, and face this threat. Especially Sly Cooper. Oh look, here's the final boss. Yay, you completed the game, okay. Will Sly Cooper always feel the same? Hub worlds with a boss in each? Perhaps. Maybe they might get sent to jail as usual, and then get released. There's nothing wrong with that. They can still use that, but I want them to change it up a bit. I want a game where the story has a lot more focus on Sly especially and the villain. One thing these games failed at doing, diving deeper into the villain. They come up with these very interesting concepts, but they just leave the characters so underdeveloped. Clockwerk is one prime example. Neela, I never understood her reason to wanting to become immortal. What she did in Sly 2, manipulating everyone to make sure that all of the parts ended up at Arpeggio, that was pretty interesting. Dr. M, he wanted loot. He was trying to get into the vault for who knows how long. Connor apparently had this bad friend, Connor Cooper. No flashback. Apparently he wasn't such a good friend. That's all. They could have done so much more with that. Unless they're planning a prequel, I don't know. A prequel would be fantastic, by the way. What Ratchet & Clank: The Future Saga succeeded at doing, it had actual cutscenes with the main villain. Sly Cooper, it feels like they just throw in this bad guy. Oh, hi there, you currently reached level 2. You have to try and get past me. Oh, I am defeated. Next. Oh, here's the leader who apparently lived for hundreds of years. Replaced his organic parts with metal, because he was jealous and hated the Coopers. Rah! Feel my wrath. Oh, now I'm dead. Okay, next game. You see where I'm getting at? I love the series. I'm not kidding. But there's just this one itch. This itch you're trying to reach for and scratch? That's what I'm talking about. Sly 4's writing. Some people completely trash it, alright? But have you ever realized that we did have scenes with Paradox talking to the people he hired? Decibel, for example. Compare this one to Sly Cooper 1, Clockwerk. He hired 4 people. We're not too sure if they worked together or just got paid to barge into Sly's house and steal the pages. But seeing as how the members referenced the other members, to me it feels like they did work together. They could have shown that. They could have added the scene where Clockwerk telling his workers to keep tabs on Cooper or else. Show how dark this owl is. Show how maniacal he is. Show these scenes. When I faced Clockwerk in Sly 1, turning immortal, he was jealous. He hated the Coopers. Okay, but why? How did this happen? So what am I getting at? I want Sly Cooper to head in a darker direction. Get an actual writer. I'm not hating the people who wrote Sly Cooper 4 or the other games, but I feel like Sly Cooper should have the chance to get this actual writer. Dive deeper into the potential these characters have, sides we've never seen before. For example, bringing back Clockwerk. Explain why he felt such hatred, why he despised the Coopers. That's extreme lengths to go to. Turning robotic, wanting to be immortal, living for hundreds of years. That is insane. If Clockwerk hated the Coopers so much, then I want him to put Sly in a very difficult position, one which involves Carmelita. That's one excellent way of diving deeper into their relationship. Yes, technically speaking, this was done in Sly Cooper 1, but seeing as how their relationship has evolved, let's say, throughout the series, imagine this being the other way around. How the situation would turn out, how these two characters would feel. How did he know that empathy was the downfall of the Coopers? See, these little things, they can explore it and make a huge difference. Prove he is the monster. Don't just give him this story just to make him look evil. The guys behind Sucker Punch coming up with the idea of a metallic owl, knowing what he did, why, and why. His backstory just give rise to multiple questions. Have they ever thought of that? Probably not. Penelope. Who is she really? She was only present in Sly 3. If Sly 4 was released, let's say 2 years later, I think Penelope turning mad would have been less of a panic in the community, let's put it that way. I know a lot of people disliked what they did to her, but I actually liked it. But I do admit, the way it was delivered was pretty poor. So could she have been working for someone this whole time? Do something with it. Yesterday, Vivi, curious again, messaged the writer of Ratchet Clank The Future Saga and onwards. Mr. Fixman, I always was curious about this. I loved what you did with The Future Saga. I feel that Sly Cooper needs to head in a different direction, maybe darker. Would you ever consider writing for such series? Thank you for your time. 10 minutes later, thanks. And I love the Sly games. Not sure any games are in my immediate future, but I do miss them. If when I return, sure, why not? 1. He's a fan of the series. That puts a huge smile on my face. Knowing what he did with the Future Saga and him being a fan of Sly Cooper, I'm happy. Now, I'm not sure if he's played all the games, of course, but it's awesome to know that he likes the series. 2. He said video games, it's not part of his current goals. He does miss it, however. If he does return, he said why not? I could give it a shot. So what would you say about that, guys? What would you say about having Fixman on the team? I could imagine this guy just barging into the room and be like, you want Sly Cooper? I'll give it to ya. Boom. Throws the script on the table. Some of you might disagree, that's okay with me, but like I said, I really liked his writing style. I would be on board with this idea. What do you guys say about that? When I played The Future Saga, I told myself, knowing this, knowing what can be done with the story, why wasn't this done before? So Sanzaro Games, I think you should consider this guy. He's a fan of color noir and detective crime, stuff like that. So that also should tell you guys something. I think he's capable of immersing the player within the story to give you that, oh, so there's a lot more to this story than we thought. And us players will be like, okay, if this was possible, then why wasn't this done before? Maybe this would have attracted a lot more people. But anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. Something that's coming, we can say. I'll leave it at that. So thank you for watching and goodbye.